So Bu Dian, it sounds like a very complicated process. So is it expensive? What are some of the typical costs that a company looking to implement 37001 can they expect?
Actually, it depends on the size or complexity of the companies, and also if we are calculate the mandates here, we always see the how many the volume of transaction during the organization operate the activity, daily activity. So it's depend on the that situation. The more employee number also will affect to the increase of mandate calculation. So that is for the cost of certification. And another one, maybe they have to prepare the resource, train the resource and spend for the certification cost. I think that is for two things that have to prepare by the organization.
So when you mean resource, are you talking about trained personnel?
Yes, it's depend on the size and complexity and whether they are already present of any other management system certification availability in the company. The typical costs that a company can expect are the follow training and consultation by external consultant company to set up, establish, and implement ABMS for the company. Certification cost by certification body like us by TÜV Rheinland Indonesia. Yeah, that is the two things that they have to spend to implement ABMS certification.
I think it's very important to have, you know, a step-by-step process to roll out ISO 37001. So Bu Dian, from your experience, how long does it normally takes for a company to achieve certifications?
Okay, typically a company can start for the certification process for a certification body within from 6 or 9 months from the starting point when the company start the activity to set up, establish, implement ABMS. And certification will be granted upon successful certification audit, stage 1 and stage 2, one side. And after, of course, all open findings from certification body have been closed by the company. So that is the typical or the timeline to get the certification.
I see. So it really doesn't sound that bad. I mean, it's important for a company to find the right service provider and partner to help them on this process. So Bu Dian, I think one of the questions that everybody worries about is, you know, what happens if a company fails to receive its certification? What can the company do?
Yeah, they have to make a corrective action, for the cause of the non-conformities or the cause that they get fail. Which part they fail? Yeah, so they have to make like improvement from the issue that caused that failure. Yeah.
So Nelly, just now you mentioned a really interesting point, which is that, you know, TÜV Rheinland, we have our own compliance standard 10 years ago. So maybe you can share with us, what is the difference between this TÜV Rheinland compliance standard versus ISO 37001?
All right. TÜV Rheinland compliance regulation and procedure that we had established more than 10 years ago, this procedure actually more focusing on financial management related, fraud management related, and it's more related to, let's say, legal compliance, let's say, management system. Whereas ISO 37001 is overall, it's more comprehensive, and it covers not only legal, but also, the things like, you know, management commitment, prevention control, you know, let's say, or even including supplier control, for example, is focusing on management system requirement. And to me, this is the main two differences that I can see from my side.
So Nelly, based on what you just mentioned, ISO 37001 seems to be one of the most important management systems for a business. So what are your views about the demand for this certification in the APAC region?
Based on the information I've seen in ISO survey statistic latest published by ISO website, I can see very strong growth development, in particular in Indonesia, in Malaysia, Singapore, and Korea. The rest, like let's say Thailand or Vietnam or Japan and Philippines, they are also having some certificate, but the growth rate I've seen from 2019 to 2018 to 2019 is not so significant yet, but probably this trend might change because we have not received the latest statistic yet in 2020, so therefore probably the trend will change. So that would be my answer.